Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 7:30, and we've been meeting here for several weeks now about podcasting. The original idea was to several of you all had let's say you were going to do some podcasting, and I suggested that some of you do them. But nevertheless, we're going to do some podcasting, and I'm gonna do a roll call, because the important thing is for this evening is this: there are some new people joining us, and there's some who've been with us from the inception, and so you have not met everybody, have not met each other, but it's extremely important because you need to know who you working with. And because we will be sharing information on each other's podcast. That's one of the reasons why we're closing it down this evening, because it's already, like I say, a multitude of us on here. And on the hour show, you can't put so much on there. You know, like I said, you got to take time out for your podcast. You got to take time out for what you're marketing for yourselves. And then what we call public service announcements. That is promoting each other's shows, maybe 10-second slot, 15-second slot, and sometimes they will be combined, you know. And just like I say, I've been saying, the way I've been trying to explain this thing, these podcasts will be operating just like a TV show. The beginning, the ending, the in-betweens, what's coming up in the future and everything else. And but it will be very professionally done to the best of our abilities. And right now, you know, I do a lot of research on computers, and I just can't take that, you know, but that's Dr. Pender. Hopefully he can get on. Mr. Murphy, if you can call Dr. Pender if you're having a problem, I appreciate it. But as I was saying, the shows will be you know, very professionally done, and they would be different from most podcasts that I've seen. And I'm constantly on the computers, and I'm constantly watching other people's materials. And another thing is too, because the way we're going to operate, you know, I know a lot of you do things from your heart and your service of people, but you know, podcasting takes time, energy, and even for us to put the commercials. See, we doing everything right now for everybody, like we say, because we all in this game. Everybody got skin in the game. We all doing this together. Brother Satawi, Vernon Streeter, myself, Rico Crawley. We are taking our expertise and to design commercials for you, editing your shows so there won't be any noise or everybody mute yourself, please. 1 second, somebody. If someone have two services running at the same time, can you cut it down? I don't know what's going on. This ain't nobody but me. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Let me get this noise off here. Okay, whoever that was, I don't know what that was, but somebody, if you have a couple of things going on at one time, it's causing interference. And but you know, they ain't gonna stop no show, whatever that was. But getting back to what I want to do is this. Everybody keep yourself muted until I call on you, because I want everybody to introduce themselves. And matter of fact, this is what we're going to do now. I'm gonna go down this list here. And the reason I want you to introduce yourselves is this, because again, you need to know who you will be working with, and your material will be on each other's shows for those who decide at the end of this Zoom call. You know, some may be with us, some may not, but nevertheless, we are going forward. And so I'm gonna start with Mr. Daniel White. Could you unmute yourself?
Greetings to everybody. Greetings, David.
Yeah, I just want you to share just a little bit now, because we don't have a lot of time. Just about a minute of who you are and what type of podcast you want to do.
Okay, my name is Daniel White. I'm a retired NFL player, working with student athletes from the grassroots levels up through high school, mentoring them on how to balance academics, athletics, social skills, dealing with some mental issues for student athletes and crisis that they go through. So we train mentors.
Fantastic. Okay.
Can't hear anything, David.
Unmute yourself, David.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Beverly Williams, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yes, sir. Hi.
Can you just share a little bit who you are and what type of podcast you will be doing?
My name is Beverly Williams. I currently own a business, Sue Ann's Office Supply Incorporated. My podcast will be about community. It will be about heroes and sheroes in the trenches.
All right, fantastic. And then we have Mr. Michael Thomas. What will you be doing? Introduce yourself, sir, and what type of podcast will you be broadcasting?
Michael Thomas, Charlotte, North Carolina. I am doing a podcast related to what I call 1,000 Great Minds, because 1,000 great minds are needed to help start up, launch, direct, manage, and oversee a newly developed nationwide enterprise that will enable the 1,000 great minds to capitalize Black businesses, Black enterprises in all 3,142 U.S. counties.
All right, thank you, sir. And Dr. Pender, are you available, sir?
I'm here.
Can you introduce yourself, share a little bit about who you are, sir, and what type of podcast you will be having?
Yes, my name is Dr. Pender. I'm a board certified psychotherapist, retired, but my concerns is the truth and what happened to lives that we've been told as a people and the lives that you see every day. I get at the absolute truth. And so it's called the truth option. I ask people to ask a question, and then my response is their truth will come from investigative material. In other words, people will find out things that they'd never thought before, such as, give you an idea, it was in the paper, Caesar Borgia. Nobody has never heard of him before. In fact, a lot of people on this podcast have never heard of him. But if you open your King James Bible, there's a picture of him, Caesar Borgia. He was a dyspeptic.
In adults also with known heart disease, Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as heart
Somebody
attacks.
mute yourself, please. If you're not talking, please mute yourself.
So that's about the extent of it. Just getting to the real truth.
Okay, thank you, sir. And when you finish talking, please mute yourself, people. I appreciate it. And we also have Mr. Omar Bilal, will you introduce yourself, sir, and tell what type of podcast you plan on having, sir? Mr. Bilal Omar. Okay, we'll get back to him. Okay, we're gonna move on. Mr. Umoja, can you unmute yourself, sir? Umoja, can you unmute yourself? Okay. What else we have on here? Okay, we're going to move on to Teresa Kennedy. Can you unmute yourself and explain a little bit who you are and what you do?
Hi, my name is Teresa Kennedy. Sorry, I'm outside, so I got neighbors playing music. I'm in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and my podcast is called RE Token, and it is about an alternative form of financing real estate projects through tokenization and cryptocurrency. And it's an educational platform to highlight what's going on in the real estate industry, funding, and seeing projects realized through tokenization.
Okay, thank you. And then, Mr. Umoja, are you available now, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh,
You should probably have Jason, since we're together, maybe have him speak as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Who's his name? Jason?
Yeah,
I'm here,
Jason Young.
David Yonks.
Okay. Can you just who you are, sir, and what your podcast is about, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, David, for hosting this tonight. I am Yonks, Jason Yonker, working with Teresa Kennedy. And also Michael Thomas was participating in our real estate tokenization clubhouse. So we're taking a community first approach here, and super exciting. Like last night, we actually went through our tokenomics working group and we launched our very own social token. And for those that aren't as deep down the crypto rabbit hole as we are, a DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization. So really looking forward to sharing our experience on that. And then more importantly, one of the things that I'm super passionate about is creating community-owned situations. And specifically, one of the things that brought Teresa and I together initially was the opportunity surrounding opportunity zones. And that's one of the things that we're looking to really create and deploy through this real estate tokenization vehicle. Number one, community-owned situations, and through the tokenization aspect, really allowing people for as little as $50 or $100 to hyper locally invest. And then more importantly, in the opportunity zones, these areas that haven't been getting the economic capital deployed. And again, I think Teresa mentioned that we're taking an educational approach because the crypto universe is very complicated and can be a little daunting. So we're going to be holding people's hands throughout that process.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Okay, and then we have Brother Bilal. Are you able to come on yet?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you introduce who you are, a little bit about yourself, and what your podcast will be about?
Well, that's a lot of good questions. My name is Bilal Omar, and I've been, I guess I'm an author now.
Mm-hmm.
I published a book. It wasn't my book, but it was the memoirs of a person who was very instrumental in starting Al Islam here in Baltimore. He was the first one, and he wrote his memoirs for over 52 years, and he died back about 20 years ago, and he left his memoirs with me, and I published them. So I guess that makes me an author, and
makes you a publisher.
Yeah, I'm a publisher too. It all go together. Yeah, I'm an imam who been doing a lot of work in Islam. I was a chaplain here in Maryland for the prison system. Really, I was the first Islamic chaplain that was over a whole prison, not just Islamic, but all the religious denominations I had to deal with now. So I've been doing a lot of work as a community person and joined a lot of community organizations, interfaith work, and so I've been around doing that type of work for years, and I've been a businessman, so I've been a businessman and a preacher. So I guess I'm hanging in there. I know you got to have economics if you want to make it in America. So, other than that, I've been a friend of Davis since he was a kid.
That's a long time, brother.
Yeah, no, it's a long, long time, and he always was, we were always pretty close. He's a neighborhood guy, and basically that's who I am. I had a restaurant in West Baltimore for many years. Called Shabazz Carryout.
That's salad dressing.
I'm sorry, but somebody speaking in the background, so I'm just trying my best to mute people out as I can from mine. But what type of podcast, brother, will you be having, sir?
Basically, I would like to try to join business and religious, ethical religious, not necessarily religion, but the human spirit, the human spirit that we all have without even going to church. I try to bring them together so that we can be successful as human beings, in America, trying to overcome a lot of the pressures, that have really dominated our ability to be successful as a communities. So something similar to that, and
Okay.
I think that's the point I've been kind of hitting on anyway over the last 5 years. So.
Okay, fantastic, sir. Okay, we have Dr. Humphrey. Can you unmute yourself and explain some of the things, who you are, sir, and some of the things that you're going to be podcasting about, sir? Dr. Humphrey, if you can unmute yourself, sir.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. My name is Dr. Andre Humphrey. I'm the Commander-in-Chief of the Baltimore Trauma Response Team, where I have a team that respond to the victims in Baltimore City who've been traumatized, that need services, and whose spirits have been broken because of the system. Our motto is help, hope, and healing. And I also have a interest in helping our young people to find their way, those that are lost. I'm also an author of a book called Black Youth in the Juvenile Justice System, where I've worked with young people in the juvenile system for over 20 years. And I see so much trauma in this city. Just the other night, 2 kids were found in the house, and my responsibility is to go find out what happened to them. Prayerfully, I can do that when I get off of this podcast. But I've been knowing Brother David Murphy a while, and I've always been excited and drawn to the work that he do and connected with the community. I've been an activist in the community service all my life, and that's what I want my podcast, our podcast, to be about, along with my Chief Administrator, Sister Sabrina Martin, who has been on the call in my absence, because it's definitely needed. When people are broken and they feel like they have no hope, even though COVID has did a number on us, a person with no hope is a person with no tomorrow. So it is my responsibility and my duty, even as a pastor or just an individual, to give them hope. Those that's been lost and the downtrodden, the broken, to try to help them get back on the path. of where they can function. And we stay with people as long as they need us. And thank you, Brother David, for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you, sir. I see Dr. Burke flashed on there one time. Is she still with us, Dr. Burke? If you are, can you unmute yourself, please? Okay. When she comes on. Okay, we have another young lady who's Zalika Bazemore. Can you introduce yourself a little, let people know a little bit who you are and what type of podcast? She already has a podcast, so you know what you're doing with your podcast.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Just trying to have a little dinner. Excuse
Okay.
me. Just coming back from Washington, D.C. And you know, as I was driving back from D.C., God just filled my spirit with some things to give you, Brother Murphy, and those that are on the podcast tonight. And I'm not going to make it about what I do, because I think everybody in Baltimore City by now knows what I do when it comes to Z-Bay behind the scenes. We've been branding quite a few of you here in Baltimore City. They brought me in to promote televised boxing. And I said, when I saw that there were people living in tents off of 295, right when you come in where Horseshoe was supposed to open up in 2015, and it was supposed to open August of 2016, which it did. I told Pat Pinelli, I said, no. You know, how can you expect me to bring millions of dollars in Baltimore through televised boxing? And as soon as you come into your city, you got people living in tents. We helped Mayor Pugh get $30 million extra dollars to help end homelessness in Baltimore City. She gave it to a nonprofit, and the rest is history. She's in jail right now. So God has given me this. I've watched all of you, everybody, almost every person on this podcast I've followed, and I've watched the work. I've broke bread with a couple of you. I've been to some of your events. I patronized your events. And I got to say what I'm seeing in Baltimore City, and it's not just the group that I'm talking to. I have been in hundreds of groups here in Baltimore. And the reason why I'm not seeing millionaires produced in Baltimore City, every last one of y'all should be millionaires by now. I've been millionaire twice over. And the reason why I'm not seeing it is because there's not the right discipline. What you guys, the concept that you guys have and are presenting, it's wonderful. But you know, the only way that concept is going to work is if you're not taking God's blessings, and when God sends you really good people that are knowledgeable and that freely will educate our people. And if you can't edify those people, and let them make the money. Let them help the community, give that free education. But guess what? Every last one of you should be edifying that person in that community. Because if we've got 17 industries that make up America, and there are dozens of other types of businesses that fit into those 17 brackets of industries. If you took and had
Sister Bazemore, I hear what you said, but you know, like I say, this is a different type of meeting where we're not sharing a lot of information. I just want you, introduce who you're a great lady and doing a lot of wonderful things. But what we trying to accomplish tonight is to get our podcast working with one another.
And that's what and guess what? I'm about to wrap this up. God gave me this to give to you, to all of you.
Okay.
Let me get the message out. Don't get upset with the message.
No. Okay, come on.
Okay. Let me get that message out, because guess what? You invited me to actually bring my podcast on your network. We want to do that. I want to do that. I have 4 people that work for Z-Bay behind the scene promotions. We want to do that. But guess what? If it's not going to benefit and elevate, if you took two people from each one of those industries that have the expertise and the experience, and all of us elevated one another, we will create 34 millionaires over the next 3 years, guaranteed. But because I know that's not going to happen, you know why it's not going to happen? Because too many people, even on this very podcast, will misuse people and have them giving up their time, their knowledge, their wisdom, their understanding for free. And behind the scenes, they've got 4 or 5 other people in that same industry that they're going to pass that information on to. They're going to have the community patronize those individuals that are known in the community, but don't really have the 40, 30 years experience and that's knowledgeable, and think that they can take the information that you give and actually elevate those individuals. But guess what happens? Nobody benefits from that. Yeah, those 4 or 5 individuals may make a few dollars, but that person that educated you for free, they still doing what they do on another level. Yes. But you guess so they never get left behind. But you get a lot of our people get left behind because we're not working together in unity in a fair and an ethical and in a righteous and honest way. I want to be a part of this, but I refuse to be a part of anything where it's not benefiting all of us involved. We can produce 6-figure, multi-6-figure people, 34. If you take and focus on 34 and build this thing where you got 200,000, 250,000 people across the nation actually using 34 individuals' products and services, and then you have young people that will follow you and listen and be educated, then guess what? You turn that banner over to those next
Sister Bazemore, look, I appreciate
a formula here.
I appreciate, but
what you're talking about doing, but it's got to be done.
Okay, but I'm gonna give you a formula, and then I want you to talk to me. I want you to talk to me after you hear what the formula is, and then me and you can talk. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. And my screen is gone all over the place here, but I can't see everybody. Like I said, I'm trying to look at the participants, but it's kind of all over because I messed the screen up. But in any case, this is it. Now I think if I didn't get to everybody who's supposed to who are actually doing the podcast, I want to just take a few more minutes, and we have to move very swiftly now, because like I say, I understand that when you deal with people who have so much on their plate, who deals with a lot of people. Everybody on here deals with a lot of people, and we all communicate, including myself. You know, I can go on and on and on about certain things, but because this is a different type of meeting where we are formulating a group of individuals who have are visionaries, who wants to serve and help people. Everybody on here that I know personally are serving by themselves. They will serve with or without anybody. And so that's the only reason why they're on here is because they have the heart to serve or want to serve. And so we got several other people who actually volunteering their time and putting in a lot of energies. I'm gonna start here. We can be very briefly with the people that will, for those of you who decide to work with us, these are some of the staff members or producers that will help produce your show. Starting with you, Mr. Wayne Rand, just for 3 minutes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
I'm as you know, I'm Wayne Randall, accountant analyst for Army, and I've been a financial editor with the newspaper for the last 3 years. And my podcast is primarily the Finance Hour, where I talk about finances, personal finances, and government finances as they affect our lives and impact us every day. And I'm here to help anyone that's trying to bring their raw material to any audience that they're trying to impact and help you try to better get your message out, because I do produce my own material, and I will help you with yours too. So just want to keep it short. Like David said, you know, I've already done what I've done, but I'm here to help and serve the others.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Vernon Streeter, can you unmute yourself, sir, please? Can you hear me, Vernon? Okay.
Oh, hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, just let people know who you are and what would you be doing with the podcasting.
Okay. I will be helping out with the podcast, putting it on my platform. Also helping with editing, aiding Mr. Murphy and Wayne and putting the bells and whistles, and just bringing resources and what I have to the table.
All right, I appreciate that, sir. Mr. Satawi Jahi, can you unmute yourself, sir?
I'm here, David.
All right, can you, Mr. Satawi, he will bring you, for those who decide to work with us, he would also include another format. Well, can you explain a little bit about that in 3 minutes, sir?
Yes, sir. I'll be adding the Blog Talk Radio component to that. I've been doing Blog Talk Radio since 2007 when I first was seeking a way to get information out using my voice. And I posted in the chat a great Les Brown interview that he did just the other day. And he talked about monetizing our voices. And, he has definitely monetized his voice over the years. And he gives out some tips and some things that I think is real helpful to everybody that's listening. And I'm suggesting, if the interview is like about 40 minutes long, I'm suggesting to everybody when we finish this podcast tonight to go tune in on that. But I'll be adding the Blog Talk component to what we do and helping people be able to reach an even broader audience. So that's my role in this.
Okay. And then we have Mr. Rico Crowley. Rico, if you don't want to speak, say so. I will speak for you, sir. But Rico, behind the scene type of person. But, Rico, can you unmute yourself? Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you what, before, because like I said, I got a lot to share with you. You guys, Rico and I will also take your broadcast, your pre-broadcast shows, like what we designing for people now. And we're the ones going to be marketing them online, sharing them online, getting them to other venues. And so we got 4 or 5 people, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you listening. And so I did this for a reason. I wanted you to meet one another before you make a final decision, before we move forward. Now, originally, and it's still the same, I came to each and every one of you on a personal basis. And I told you that I will be doing a series of podcasting, producing podcasting.
Pardon me, David. There are a couple of hands up that I see, and I don't know how to take that, but I just wanted to inform you there are a couple of hands up, Mr. Umoja and Imani Uhuru. And I just want to let you know that. Pardon me for interjecting.
Yeah, well, I understand, and but Umoja already spoke, and I'll get to the other gentleman because the people that actually I invited to actually do podcasts, that's who I wanted to right now to hear from. And we can talk a little bit after I finish sharing, then we can open up the mic for everybody, want to come in. But let me just say this. The purpose of this meeting and the past meetings was this. This is the whole thing in a nutshell. I would not have invited anybody on here if I did not believe that you was already working. Matter of fact, I already know that most of you already out there they've been putting in work for years. I already know that your heart's in the right place. Based on what you about to share with people is going to be a blessing to people. That's no doubt about it. And when it comes to money, money's going to come. Because when you put out good service, you fill voids, and money going to come, and I'm gonna tell you how. And but the first thing is this: podcasting. Basic 101 on podcasting is basically this. Anybody can put out a podcast. Anybody can get a Zoom, a free conference call, and just start talking, and put it online somewhere. But the real deal about podcasting is you have to pretty much create your own audience. Or if you already had a network or something, that you can podcast to them. But if you really want to reach masses amount of people, you would have to do some serious marketing strategizing. And that's what I bring to the table. What I bring to the table is to assist you. And when I came to each and every one, I didn't ask you for not one cent. So I was not about money. Money will come though. I came because I provide these services. That's what I've been doing all my life, provide services to help my people, to help set the captives free. That's my mission in life. And that's what I continue to do. I wouldn't be doing this just for no other reason. And I am called. There's no doubt about that, because I wouldn't be doing the things I do if I wasn't on a mission or been sent on a mission. But the bottom line is this. And most of you who know me, you know what I call myself. I call myself a servant of service. I'm here to serve you. And since you out there, since you all are serving and you out there serving people with and without a network. So what better way it is to help you to get your word out there to the masses. A lot of you have a lot to say, and it's a lot of important things to say. And I already mentioned this to some of you. Some of the things you will say that would enhance people's quality of life, and then some of the things that you will be saying will actually save some people's lives. That's how powerful the information that each and every one of you have. And so the way this whole project is set up is Wayne, Randall, Vernon, Rico, and myself already decided, because we already been doing this. That's what we always been supporting people. And so I explained to them what I was about to do. Now, the way this concept works is this. Each one of you have a podcast. Each one of you going to need an audience to listen to your podcast or to help market your podcast, to spread it here and beyond. And what better way is to network with people, like-minded people who really want to serve other people. And one of the ways you can do that is because I have been blessed with so many skills that God has given me, and so just like Brother Satavi and Vernon and Rico, we're multi-talented in certain areas. And what better way is that, since you're going to be doing a podcast, why not help create your audience, reach the masses of people that you want to reach, and at the same time support each other. Now, I'm gonna use this as an example. I'm gonna use Brother Umoja for an example. Now, he may run an hour podcast. Now, what better way for him to run a podcast where he had people like a whole production team behind him that would put all the bells and whistles on his podcast, edit the podcast so it won't be a whole lot of noise and missaid words or stuff that you may need to cut out, and had the intro, the outro, commercial, public service announcement on his podcast. He can market his products, goods, and services on his own podcast. And if you're going to help people, there's nothing wrong with helping yourself first too. How are you going to help a lot of other people if you can't help yourself? And so when it comes down to monetizing your business, this is where we come in at. We didn't charge not one place. We didn't ask not one person on here for a dime. And matter of fact, I already put hours and hours of time. And if you want to put a monetary system on it, I already put thousands of dollars of work on several of your podcasts already. Just the introductions of your coming soon parts of your podcast. And see, like I said, it's not about the money. It's about getting your word out. But at the same time, those podcasts, through commercialization, you can have your own commercials on there about what you do and what you do. You can have your guest commercials coming. They will pay us for. Because if you don't do the commercial, I'm doing the commercial, but I'm willing to share the proceeds with you. And like that, you can get somebody else to do your commercials for you. It's up to you. Because these are your show. We don't own them. We don't control your show. We don't do anything. It's your show. All we do is help you broadcast them and help make them, clean them up and make them look good. And but what better way if Umoja, while he's running his hour-long show, that he has Zulika's show, a 10-second public service announcement about her show, about Omar's show, and about 5 or 6 of your show. Take about 3 or 4 minutes out of your whole hour show that you promote other people's shows, and they will be doing the same thing in return. And so if Umoja is reaching a certain amount of people, so that means whatever amount of people you're reaching, you have potential to reach those people too, and vice versa. And the other thing is, another thing, if you don't know me by now, you probably will know me in the future, is this. I just don't come up there and assist you with your podcast. My goal is, my personal goal is to make you independent. When I say independent, that you can get up there and run your show yourself. If you're willing to go this far, you might be, I know most of you, all you want to do is share information, but for those you want to really know how to run your own show, I'm willing to share my wisdom and knowledge with you. I'm also willing to share. That's why we have these Wednesday nights. We will have what you call, maybe call them training sessions, where we can glean off each other, build each other up. But at the same time, I've been on the computer since the inception of them. And I do know for a fact that I could take any one of y'all, if you're willing to listen and do, not just listen, but do. I can sit you down, and you can sit down at a computer for 20 minutes and reach almost 2 or 3 million people. Just by doing little simple things, just by joining groups and networks and things. Like I said, it's a lot of little tidbits that I can show you personally that irregardless of what the group does, that you can assure your own success by just doing some simple things so that you become independent. And that's another thing about us. You know, we're not trying to hold you. We're not trying to capitalize off of you. Like I said, yes, money is involved. Matter of fact, I already explained to you. Now, when you got a group such as we, what's going on with these people, just us in this small group right here, there's already a host of people that would want to take advantage of this opportunity, and which it is an opportunity, but we can't do for so many. There's already about 8 or 10 podcasts on here, and that's why I say after tonight, I'm not inviting anybody else into this network until we get ourselves up and running. And then if anybody else wants to come in, then they would have to pay, because they're going to be paying for a lot of service. They got to pay for your time, because if you're going to promote their services on your show, then it's time for you to start getting monetized for that, because you promoting somebody you don't even know now, and something like this. But you know, but that's your choice. It's your choice to say, well, I want this person, I want to promote this person after the night is over with. But I'm talking for newcomers, they will pay, and we'll figure out whatever that is. You know, we haven't came to that conclusion yet. But I guarantee you this I already know. See, it's only about 10 or 15 people on here tonight. But guess what? When your shows start hitting the air, and when we start marketing your shows, when people all over this country and beyond start seeing your podcast, how well it's done, and the content that you're sharing, your content, they're going to ask you, how can I get my podcast? You know, and like you said, it's already millions of people try to be part, but they're going to see the system that we got, and they want to come in. And I'm going to say this to you. We're going to end up with an army of people, an army of podcasts that want to come into our system, not my system, our system. Because all of y'all going to have a stake in this. This is our system. And when they come in, like I said, they're going to be, do you know the power of what's taking place right now? Like I say, y'all already know, because most of you involved with the National Black Unity News. Media is a powerful tool. Now, if we create an army, we already got an army right with us right now that could turn this world upside down. This with the people on this call right now, with the podcast, the information that y'all gonna put out. But can you imagine 30, 40, 50, maybe 100, 200 other podcasts that want to join a network such as ours so they can get their stuff out there as well? Do you know how powerful of a media network that can be? How powerful? I mean, this is serious stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to take, and there will be serious money involved. And another thing about this type of network we have, when you can reach massive amount of people collectively, I know you can do it individually, but when you do it collectively, do you know, I'm going to use the Coca-Cola, the Pepsis, and any other Fortune 500 companies out there, they will pay us, not David Murphy, us, the networks, millions of dollars just to reach massive amount of people. That's why they do that. That's why they put the kind. That's why the Super Bowl is like that. If you can reach massive amount of people, and they know you can reach massive amount of people, they will pay the price. And then you all get monetized from that as well, just by being, because we are the networks. And so, but then again, But then again, because we all come from so many different backgrounds and so many different skill sets, the information that, you know, if something should come down from time to time, and that's what I'm saying, because this is what it's going to be. It's going to be a we thing. If we decide to say, well, this needs some attention in our community, in the Black community, or any community, do you know we would have the power, just us, the power to get a word out that can reach a massive amount of people in no time, just like that, because we would have that type of network. If we say this needs to be addressed, we can get it all over the world. It can be political, it can be sociable, it can be a whole lot of things that can take place. See, now, I know I came to you on an individual basis, but I always think collectively. And I am a visionary. Now, when I say things, you know, I know sometimes it may seem far-fetched, but it's not. This platform we're on right now is $1 billion industry because somebody just said if there's a Zoom thing, a Facebook thing. All of them started in garages and stuff like just a few years ago. It wasn't that long ago. Because now things are so fast-paced now. What we doing here right now, because some of us are already sold in, we already locked in. But I extended this because there's four or five people on here. Is this first time they ever came on with us. And so I understand that they don't understand, you know, what this whole concept is all about, but the whole concept is about us helping us. It's about us reaching out to the community with powerful information that can transform people's lives in one way, more than one, financially, spiritually, economically, all kinds of ways we can enhance people's lives. You already know, like I said, you are independent. Only thing we are here for is to help you expand your territory. What we're here for is to add our expertise to what you want to do. And we didn't ask you for not 1 cent, and we will never ask you for anything. Unless you said, well, if you're going to get something, you may have to pay for it. And what I've done on my own time and effort was this. And this is what I'm willing to do for each and every one of you on here who is going to do a podcast. And I've done it for 4 or 5 of you already. And Miss Kennedy, I just finished yours today, is this. I took time to took your logos and I put it in an animated format. I made a couple of commercials for those people to let people know that your podcast is coming soon in a very professional manner. Now, if you'd have went someplace, it would have cost you thousands of dollars to get that type of work done. But see, I'm doing, like I say, I always cast the first stone. And so I would do that for each and every, if you're going to be a part of the network. But the only way you can be a part of this network is you got to have one thing, like I say, one thing that is a given. You would have, it's your pocket, you do what you want, but the key to the success of these things is to support each other. And that is to promote each other on each other's shows. And sometimes I've strongly suggested to y'all that you even have some of y'all as guests on each other's shows as well, to talk about your shows sometimes. Because it's not how much you know all the time, it's who you know. And everybody on here right now this evening knows quite a few people, have quite a bit of experience. They can get to places where you can't get to. But I tell you one thing, and I'm going to open up the lines for any questions or concerns. But again, this is the original thought. It's not about, but money, yes, it is definitely included. We're going to make a lot of money if we stay true to the cause. We will reach masses of people if we stay true to the cause. But if you have a mindset about me, myself, and I, then it ain't going to last. I don't care how hard you try. But if you're willing to work with people, because that's what I'm all about. And I know that's what Rico, Vernon, and everybody who's already given up their time to support you. And this is your thing. We got a hold now. Where else can you go to get this much expertise to help you out and didn't cost you not 1 penny? Somebody, a group of people that are willing to take their time to help you to get you to where you want to go. And in return, only thing we ask that you do is just share with each other, so that you can almost solidify your ground base. When I'm talking about your foundation, that means that you will have people listening in on you. You would have a support system that every week we come here and we share with information, what worked and what didn't work, how we can do this together on a team effort. There ain't no chiefs, ain't no big chiefs and nothing like this. Like I say, these podcasts are your podcasts. We just hear that we don't own none of that stuff that you do. Only thing we own, like I say, is the stuff that I gave you. That's your own, but after that, it's it's up to you what you want to do. But like I say, but if you're not the type of person, we will reserve the right to have no longer be in the system. If you're not going to share, like you said you was in the beginning, and ain't nothing written and granted right now. But like I say, this is a meeting of the minds right now. There's 2 or 3 of us, 5 or 6 of the burn and all of the support thing. We already sold in already. We locked in. We already had 4 or 5 of our podcasts already locked in. We extended our territory because I've seen some people that I know, like Zulika, Brother Omar, and Sabrina, Dr. Humphrey. They were locked in with us from the beginning. And the young lady, Miss Kennedy, and her partner. See, these are people we just invited in. And we have one more person that wasn't online. He's in on a flight right now from out of Florida, Donald Dowbridge, and he's locked in as well. And so, ladies and gentlemen, in closing, and then before we open up the microphone, question, I'm just going to reiterate one thing, a couple of things. This is about us helping us. This is about if we do the basics, the foundation right, so much will be added to us. Like I say, financially, you reach your objective. If that's what your objective is, to help people, that's what you do. That's what's going to happen. And I can't think of a better way how we can build such a strong foundation that can reach people here locally, across and all over the world through the system of the internet. There's no limitation to the amount of people we can reach. And with the content that you all have, you already heard what each other do, and you only heard a tidbit of it. You just heard the ice tip of it. But I know for a fact, it's so much depth to each one of you who doing the podcast. All of y'all totally committed into what you're doing. And you believe in yourself, you believe in your project, and I believe in you, and my steps are ordered. And those of you understand where I'm coming from. And so, like I say, a lot of us, we lived some, as far as man stand, we lived some serious years over the years. A lot of years left that we look at. I mean, be straight up about it. And most of us just want to give. There's nothing wrong with receiving either. I just start learning that it's all right to receive. A servant is worthy. But that's not what I'm going after. What I'm going after is changing people's lives, like I always been doing. And guess what? Y'all, you are making my journey so much easier. Just by have the courage and the wisdom and the foresight to have a podcast. And I appreciate you, but for those of you, if you're not sure that you want to be, you can pull me up personally, or you can talk right now. Unmute yourselves if you have any questions or concerns. Like you say, Mr. Tom, those who raised their hand, this is the time to speak up. Just unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
It's you, Moj. I apologize because when you first called upon me, my laptop decided to reboot itself. So I had to go to the phone. But I'm listening to you saying, and I do appreciate you talk about helping people instead of us trying to make money. Because you're right. If you're concentrating on yourself money, you're not going to use it. You're going to fail. But if you concentrate on helping the people and we doing something to help the people, the money will come. We don't have to try to make money. Money will come to us as long as we're trying to do something to better the lives of other people. And that's what I've been trying to do all my life. And now that the Umoja Quest, as everybody know, it's a business. If they don't know, it's a business of getting women together, the women of the world. My business is a global female business, getting the women of the world to do something for themselves, to empower the women and use the power to make things better. If they would do that, everything would change. But if they do that in an effort to make money, they'd just be doing what is happening now. And right now, we have a mess. So as long as we do what you said, just help one another, to make everything better for everyone else, we got a good plan.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Questions, concerns? Wow, okay.
Yeah.
David, I just want,
Okay, somebody
David,
speak up.
I would like to encourage each one of us to pray for each other, that will God give us the strength to achieve our goals, which is to help people. And that's very benevolent of us to do these things, because that's what's built inside of you. So by doing so, I think that some of us will find also our calling. But overall, I think it's a good thing that we pray for one another and those that support us on this network and throughout the our daily efforts. But anyhow, I want everybody to know that as tonight, I'm gonna have a personal prayer for each one of you, that the Lord will use you to glorify Him in your messages. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Somebody else was trying to say something.
yeah, this is Satawi, David. I just wanted to reiterate for people to make sure to watch the Les Brown interview that I posted in the chat. And I'm doing a podcast tomorrow night on taxes, on how people overpaying their taxes from anywhere from $3,000 to $9,000 a year. And I'm giving them some tips on how they can avoid overpaying their taxes. So I'll be doing my podcast on the Blog Talk Radio Network. And I don't know if I posted that link, but anyway, if you tune in to my Blog Talk channel, which also that show will be listed also on Vernon's it'll come up on Vernon's channel for the Blog Talk Radio blog radio spot. So you can tune in, you can listen to it from there if you're familiar with Vernon's channel, or you can tune into Home Based Business 101 on Blog Talk Radio and pick me up there. But make sure that you go and listen to the Les Brown interview. He talks about all of his years of experience that he brought to the table when it first came to people monetizing their voices. And that's what we're doing with these podcasts. We look at ways to monetize our voice. And there's nothing wrong with that. We should get paid for our voices and the messages that we bring, as long as they're honest, legit, and that we're making sure that we're sharing with people valuable information. And the fortune is in the follow-up. So make sure that you follow up by watching that video that I posted in the chat, and take some heed from my elder. Les Brown is, he talked about his age on there. He's 77 years young. He has terminal cancer, but he's still going. He said he's still ticking. So he's been around the block, several times.
Okay, sir. All right. Okay. Appreciate that. And but look, what Satabi hit on something that I didn't mention. Dealing with a network, I didn't mention that the fact that we will be building a website with you guys podcast on it. I didn't mention to you about the other networks. Like Vernon has his own station, but there are thousands of other networks that we're gonna be tapping into. And just like they'll be trying to tap it into ours. There's so many connections that, like I said, I'm sitting on I've been doing information for 40 years. I got so many, this is thing said, documentation beats conversation any day. So I can sit here and talk to I'm doing the face. But I built two of the largest websites in the entire country. One is called the National Portal, and the other one is National Black Action Portal. One is 400 pages, the other one is 500 pages. Now, how many sites you seen got 500 pages to a website? And I built that from scratch, not because I was just trying to do something grand, because I was inspired way back then. I told people again, and I'm not bragging, I'm not boasting, like I say, documentation beats conversation any day. I started doing my database several years ago at 262,000. I'm not a typist, but I had to pluck all of that information in Excel. The telephone number, address, what they did and everything. 200, and who would do something like that? But I'm gonna tell you why. Because I was inspired way back there. I didn't know why I was on the journey. I was obedient to the call, but now I understand why I did all of those things. Because for such a time as this, for this time, where information is so much information from us is needed. And I tell y'all, I didn't say this on this call, but some of you already, I say this over and over again. We own, Black people in this country alone, own less than 1% of the media. So you know how much of a voice that is, less than 1%? Do you know that what we are about to do can change that scenario? Do you know we can change that so greatly when we create this army that's gonna come forth? We got the newspaper, we're gonna have the podcast and directories and everything else. All of them things are gonna be sources to promote you, to promote your podcast. And all this weaponry that God has blessed me with is gonna be poured out on you. And so, that's why I say this is what we're about to venture into is extremely serious. And it's gonna be extremely challenging sometimes for some of you. Some of you have health issues. Some of you have a lot, but you're gonna be called upon. So if you think this thing is just something that like a little hobby, you might stop it now, because like I say, once you start this thing and it start going viral, you will be in demand. You will become extremely popular. And you know what happens to some people when they get popular in demand. You see what happens to some people when they get money. So I like Dr. Pender say, you better pray up so that you can stay grounded. And like that ain't no problem for most of y'all, but I'm just saying, but these things that can happen, might happen, and I believe they will happen. From my perspective, I believe they will happen. But that's something that each one of you gonna have to make your minds up for. If this is something that you really want to do, because we're serious. I mean, we are truly serious. And these things are already going to happen. They're going to have whip over without you. It's just that it'll be so much better with you. And so, and we're not begging, because we don't really have to do, like I said, if I personally, and I'm not bragging or boasting, I can go out here right now and get 50 people by next week and be on this call and be more than willing to do what if they knew that I was offering this to people. But like I say, it's not about massive amount of people. They're going to come. It's about the quality of people. See, my thing, it ain't about, I can go get a whole lot of people out there, but my thing is working with people whose hearts are in the right place, whose minds are in the right place, who have a will to help other people. And see, that y'all the type of people that I can connect with. I ain't gonna pour all my, like I say, I know some ministers on here, everything, but guess what? You don't pose to waste your gifts and your talents on bad soil or bad ground. And you don't cast your gifts away, but I ain't gonna get into that. But I know and I believe in my heart that I'm casting my talents and gifts into solid ground, good ground, people, fertile ground. That's who you are. That's what you wouldn't be here if I didn't believe it. And so it's getting a little late, but if anybody else have any concerns or questions, you can answer here now, or you can call me later. But tonight is tonight. I'm not going to invite anybody else in to this thing until we get everybody up and running. And then next week, if you're interested, if you want to go, we're going to start working. We're going to start, because some people are already ready to start an interview. And another thing we do that I didn't mention to some of the people that's on, we actually going to train you how to start your podcast, what you need to do a podcast. And if you don't know how to do it, we'll help assist you to get whatever you need so that you can do your podcast. And my thing personally, as I mentioned to you before, I want to see everybody on here independent. Doing it, you ain't got to, don't need nobody else, but you're always going to need us. But I'm just saying, you're going to need the network. But I'm just saying, if something should happen to me, Brian, anyone, you can go in there and do your podcast. You may not have all the bells and whistles if the team goes, but if you're interested, if you don't believe me, we got Mr. Wayne Rand on there. Wayne, just share something with you about how you started.
Well, that's, when I came on board about 3 years ago, David, I met him at a Black Man Unifying Black Man's, one of the Saturday brunches through Rico Crawley. And I was speaking for God's Given Hands. And I sat down at the table and Rico said, Wayne, this is David Murphy. And David said, you know what, Wayne, I need somebody to write a financial column. And I said, we talked for probably maybe a month or so. And at some point I thought about it and I said, I think I might want to come aboard. And I did so. And as I did that later, David said, I'd like to actually broaden your scope and broaden the impact and the people that you're actually getting in touch with. Maybe, what do you think about doing a podcast? I said, a podcast? I had never even thought about it. What? Well, that was 3 years ago. And then I did just that. I got into podcasting. And then I took it a step further and I got into editing and cutting. So I would, learn some things about actually producing the real work and how do you actually do it? Because David would always say, if you really don't know how to do it, you could be held hostage because you might be waiting for somebody to finish your work and you can't get it done. I kind of took the bull by the horns and got into that aspect of it, and I've been doing it ever since. And I've done a series of interviews, and I have a series of public service announcements out from the coronavirus, the rollout, the vaccine rollout, all these different types of things. And I'm here to, offer my services and my talents to people to help them impact the audience that they want to get to. Because between myself, David, myself, and Vernon, we all have different styles of cutting and editing. So we could look at your raw material and you never know what you're going to get, but I'm telling you, we're going to put a nice touch on it. And we don't put anything out unless it's going to have a professional touch to it. And I'm telling you, I'm really just more than glad to be a part of this network. And, I've been here for 3 years so far, before you know it, it'll be 4, It is a great concept, and it is as it says in the paper, if not us, then who is going to help us? We have to help ourselves. And I like what you said, Bazemore, I see you. I like what you said earlier, and I remember talking to you a year ago in your office in Towson. But you're right, if the people are all working together to edify and uplift whoever these individuals are, we all can make the money, I mean, I'm making money, I work, Wayne, I have a, yeah.
Yeah, Wayne, I just want to share with, with the people on there, because there's several people on here.
Oh, yeah.
Who never actually did a podcast before. They just had the idea of doing it. But I just want to share with you, when we work together, I'm talking about what we're doing right now. And when we share with the podcasters,
right,
you can do this. As I said, you can go there. If you just want to do interviews, you can stay there. That's cool. But if you really want to get into the whole thing of podcasting, how you can do this and how you, we willing to take you all the way, just like me and Wayne, we learn together. You know, we lift each other up. But at the same time, like I say, like he said, he had no clue, just like some of you may not have a clue right now. But a year from now, 6 years from now, you might be teaching a class in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I did what I did 3 years ago. And because of those 3 years, I'm where I'm at now. And I look back at some of the material I've done, and all I do now is I just try to make it more polished as I go on, you know. But it's quite humbling. It's humbling, but it's really interesting to see the people coming on. I've been talking to David and a lot of these people here, you know, Dan White, you know, the NFL guy, want to try to get his stuff out. It's a lot of people here. And we want to try to get your material out to the audience that you want to impact with a professional quality. We're not going to let nothing go out unless we have a professional quality to it.
Right.
Because once it's out, you know.
And guess what? Our name's on it too. Our
Yeah,
name
our
on
name
your
is on
part.
it
Yeah,
too,
they
right,
gonna say,
you know.
you know, so we ain't gonna try to, you know, we're gonna give you the utmost, you know, professional spirit, you know, to the best of our knowledge. And I'm always a student, always.
Yeah.
But you know, because I know it's getting late, a lot of you are extremely busy. But this is what I want you to do. I don't want you to do this on this call tonight, but I want you to call me tomorrow. Some of you already committed. For those of you who are not sure, you know, call me and say, Dave, this is not for me. You know, it's cool because everything is not for everybody. And that's serious, you know. And but if you are, I need to know by tomorrow before, because like I say, the window, we're gonna have to close this window up. It's going to open up again, but not just now. We need to get most everybody up and running so that you can be prepared. So once you're up and running, I'm gonna tell you why. Once we up and running, and when we open that door, I guarantee you, people gonna want to duplicate what you're doing. Your friends, your associates, people watching your podcast gonna want to do one, and they're gonna want to become a part of the network, but they're gonna have to pay to come in. But we also have to be ready to receive them. Our shows have to be up and running to promote their shows. And so, you know, like I said, you're gonna make money, but like I said, don't focus on that. The money going to come. No one. It's so many different ways that we can make money. It's going to come. But the main thing is, the most important thing is, when you was blessed with your vision, and your vision was to help people, even if it's in economics, even if it's in, you know, community service, whatever it was that God bless you to do, to give you the vision to do, stay focused on that. And if you do that, leave all the rest of that stuff up there. All you got to do is talk to people. Those people you want to talk to, if you want to interview people or you just want to share information with people, we'll help you get started on that as well. But do that and let us do what we do, and collectively together, once you see the finished product out there, and you reaching your objectives, you know, to help people, and then watch what happens. Because something you can't put a price on. You can't put a price on when you bless somebody who's going through something, and because of you, your vision, and you go out there and you share information with them, and you become such a blessing. You know, their children may be going through something. They may be going to something. They may be in a life-death situation. And because the words come out of your mouth, out from your podcast, might save their lives. And so that's the most important thing. And see, you would never put a price on that. When people walk up to you and say, I heard you say it, or you had somebody on who said it. And because of that effort, because of your effort, your vision, you made it happen. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are interested, all I need for you to do is give me a call tomorrow, not tonight, tomorrow. And for those of you on the fence or who may be thinking about it, but I'm gonna leave you with this. I thank each and every one of you, because I know that all of y'all are extremely busy people. But I'm not trying to scare you or anything like this. But the work we're about to enter into, it's gonna take a lot of responsibility from us because the vision is so large and so huge. And the responsibility, you know, you got something that great and that large, that's always the responsibility sometimes. So you want to stay true to yourself, true to God. And if you keep the faith and you really believe in what you're doing, what you plan on doing, that all things shall be added to us and everything will be all good for us, and especially those who will be hearing us. So with that being said, I'm a bid you all a good night, and thank you so much for taking time to be with us this evening, because whether you know it or not, your vision and my vision evidently intertwined with each other. And now I see clearly. I'm serious. I see so clearly now how God was orchestrating all them years ago, how all this stuff is coming together. And I didn't understand why I was doing all of these things. Now I do. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that being said, anything
No
before I close
questions?
up? One
No
question, anything?
questions?
Anybody?
I had one question. Where do y'all have I know Vernon and I spoke last night, and Vernon, thank you for the call. We definitely still on point. We're focused on what we talked about last night. I want to just do a shout out to Sabrina Martin. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you at Z-Bay Development's workshop tomorrow evening. Thank you for patronizing my business, because you're going to get a lot out of it, because it's going to help grow your business. And Wayne, thanks for the thumbs up. Dave, as always, thank you for having me on. Sometimes God will give me a message and I don't even know what the purpose is, but I know it's on purpose, for purpose.
Amen.
So, amen. So, yeah, I look forward to going forward.
Go ahead.
I see the vision, but at the same time, you know, I just know that it's to elevate all of us also, and so many others financially, whether it be where we can make sure all our people are covered with life insurance, whether we can make sure that if this person wants to invest in 2 or 3 properties and they want to create assisted living, or they want to create transitional, then they've got commercial money to go after that property and to renovate that property. And so it's got to be also about the money. It's about a giving thing, about educating, but at the same time, we have to produce, because at a certain time, there's always, God said, with the fruits of your labor will produce a harvest. And we as Black people, we don't keep needing our government or anybody else's handouts. We need to be elevated to the point where we create the wealth. And I know we can do this because we have so much talent, even just on this one podcast. It should never be a thing. Vernon, I really want to thank you, my brother, because you saw a value and said, when y'all do that workshop next month, you in it. You know, because we don't ask a lot. That's how we help people. We want to give you the information, but that's the business that we are, is helping to build other businesses. So we do it in a way where it can be affordable. It can be affordable, because then we look at helping many. And so I love you, Dave. I love what you're doing. You're bringing us together. And so God has a purpose on purpose to bring even those of us that are right here together for his purpose, to fulfill the vision. So good night, folks. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Good night,
Yeah,
Thank you, Zeka.
There's one other person had their hand up we missed.
Yeah, who's that?
Yes, sir. I have my hand up. My name is Imani Uhuru. I know Brother Faulu Umoja, he had his hand up before me, so I don't want to overstep.
Yeah, but he spoke. He spoke. You got the floor, sir.
Oh, praise be to God. I just want to say that I am new here. I was encouraged to come on by my brother and partner, Brother Michael Thomas. And he was the one that suggested that I come on. I am extremely, I would say, interested in what's happening here, especially Sister Zulika Bazemore. She caught my ear, piqued my interest, and Brother David, you did also. And the brother who came on and spoke about partnering a moral character with an economic push, he really caught my interest because if we don't pay homage to the one who has given us all that we have and will increase our measure if we pay duty to him, okay? That really piqued my interest because one of the things I'm involved with is a prayer and fasting group. And if you don't get down on bended knee, okay, and I would say push off those things that you ingest that are not fortifying, not only for your I would say physical growth, okay, but your character growth. All right, and your remembrance of Almighty God, well then really you're just whistling in the wind. So I am looking forward to being a part of this. I would hope and pray that since there is a save the chat feature here, that all of those participating will put in contact information in the chat so that we can have a roster that we can reach out to from time to time to just see what you are doing and how it may aid us in our future growth. So with that, I'm going to defer. I would hope that my brother Michael would come and say something, but I do appreciate your patience with your needy brother, and I greet you as I came before you with peace and blessings. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Amen on that, sir. I like that.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up with Imani Uhuru. Thank you, Imani, for coming on. Your time is valuable, and we recognize that. And always for your kind and generous words in respect to the high honor, regard, and respect for the true Almighty. That is the key point with me, the high honor, regard, and respect for the true Almighty. And so we are all in this ship together, I would say. And if the ship sail, we sail. If the ship sink, we sink. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say this in closing. Did anybody else go on once? Go on twice.
See, I just wanted to try to get Dr. Pender's number.
Got it.
Dr. Pender still on here?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, this is Vernon. I wanted to try to get your number. If you can send it to me in the chat.
It's online.
You can't see it. Vernon, it's the 1-804 number.
0410.
You see it, Vernon?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
All right.
Hi, this is Teresa. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I got knocked off a lot during the call, trying to use my video, so I'm using my phone now. I just wanted to thank you for inviting me to the circle, and you know, the energy that you bring, the skills and background and passion that you bring is very rare. And I just want you to know that you are inspiring me to know that I have someone who takes interest in me with your type of energy and passion to do for others. I'm a doer myself, and I can get passionate about it and go hard. I don't always see that reciprocity. And so I'm quite impressed to be in your presence and to be able to participate in this journey, wherever it takes all of us, and to contribute to the collective upliftment of everyone that has ears to hear what we're talking about right now. And the desire to participate in what we're trying to build and putting energy into creating this network and of how having our voices heard. So everyone is welcome to reach out to me. easy to communicate with and talk to and reach. My doors are open. Thank you. I don't know, Jason, if you want to say something important.
No, thanks for inviting me, Teresa, and it was a pleasure hanging out with everybody tonight.
Glad you came aboard. You see what's happening already. Now, see, I ain't got to do anything else. See what's happening. See the networking that's taking place already. The connections that's being made already. I mean, this is the beginning. So it's gonna be all like Sister Zulika said. They're gonna be all types of ventures that we're gonna be partnering with. All sorts of things going to play. Like I say, what we do has so many tentacles to it. It's just too vast to try to get into all of that. But like I said, before we get to the end of the destination, we just have to go on the journey, and it's gonna be such a powerful journey, one step at a time. And the beauty of it is watching each other grow and expand. It's a support system that's going to come from, with each other. And so, that I'm gonna tell you something. I am so comfortable right now. I'm so comfortable with what's taking place. No words can't even express it. And you all made that happen because like I said, I'm a servant. I serve service, but to see so many servants on a consistent basis with the National Black Unity News, and now with our network, and to see all of these great vessels around me, man, it's just powerful. And so I'm gonna say thank you, everyone, and again, you need to call me tomorrow, text message, email, whatever you have to do. Because I'm already beginning to start a website and everything else, so I'm gonna lock things down. And so, and not that I'm trying to be negative or anything like that, but I'm being obedient, and we have to move forward because a lot is at stake. And I don't know what's at stake, but I do know there's a multitude of people waiting on you and me, waiting. And then if we don't get there and I don't help us get there, then I got the answer to that. And so that's my task. And like I tell you, I love you dearly, but I'm going with or without you. And so
David,
that means yes.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Well, you won't be going without me, so get over it. I'm that voice of reason.
I like that. And guess what? Guess what? I don't know if you knew it or not. I already knew that.
Yeah, Wayne helped you out.
Why did you think I invited you? I already knew.
So look, Vernon, I'm gonna holler at you tomorrow, and you, Dave, because I've got some really big news. And what I heard tonight that you guys are already prepared to do, and what I think Vernon, I think he's about to get what he needs to do, what he has to do, because there's going to be several events coming up that since I chair the Baltimore City Republican Central Committee's grassroots, we will be calling on production because I can't do it all. Z-Bay can't do it all. And so this group can actually be co-producers of a whole lot of different events like town hall meetings, Fox 45, they already know can't be the only person involved with politics because we need to educate our people even about politics. We need to make sure that people understand that they have choices when it comes to even people, when it comes to even candidates. So I look forward to Unity TV doing a whole lot of that coming up in the next election cycle in 2024. So yeah, God put me here for a reason and put me here for a purpose. I love you guys.
All right.
I'll talk to you.
Love you too, Zika.
Okay, Wayne.
All right.
Good night.
Okay, good night, everyone.
Guys.
Thanks, David. Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
It's been a good one. It's been a good one. Good night, guys.